Hello and welcome back to Books and Budgets. I'm Ruth, and I was wondering, are any of you procrastinators? I have to admit that I am, and I'm beginning to reflect on some of that. I've seen a lot of stuff about what causes procrastination. Of course I have. I've spent a lifetime as an Olympic level procrastinator, and I have friends that will confirm that. But today or this week, or I'm just kind of wanting to think about and even chat about the discomfort of trying new things. So I'm going to do a very quick and very overdue recap of my first part of May budget, my first paycheck in May budget, the one where we set up this calendar, and maybe chat a little bit about that. This was the budget that we planned, and I did not do a check-in, but I have been tracking my expenses. And you know what? I have some time constraints today, and maybe you do too. So I have done all the dots and all of the things on my draft copy that I do in pencil before I do this. And I am just going to kind of go over those. I love my little, this is a boba tea inspired pen holder. And I'm going to do this in blue. I don't know why I needed to show you that, but it just felt like the thing to do. Okay, I'm going to try zooming in so you can see a little bit better. I think that works if I don't if I don't start writing off camera, but let me try that. All right, now we're back. I started with the $50 that I always have as a checking buffer. My school paycheck this time was $1,686, so I did have some tutoring money and 35 cents, because I know that's about $35 more than I usually do, which means I had 2 hours of tutoring. The rest of the money that I got from my mom was $225 for the installation. And I could get out my sad little calculator here. But like I said, I'm kind of in a hurry. You feel free to check my math, to pause the video. I have done that before. I don't know what's wrong with me. I have to double check it sometimes. But I got that makes my monthly my inflow for this paycheck $1,961.35. $25 goes automatically to savings. I just mentioned that. And $31.25 is removed for my union dues. Somebody commented and asked me if I did not have a local chapter. I do, but I live in a state where the union has recently tried fighting an education reform bill. We weren't successful, but the political fallout was that suddenly there was a bill introduced that said our union dues had to be taken from our checking accounts and not directly from our paychecks. So we had to go through a whole thing. It was seen as inconsistent because other professionals are allowed to have their union dues taken out. Firemen, policemen, other state employees, but we are no longer allowed. So I have to pay it separately. That's just the way that is. It's not gonna force me to quit my union. Sorry, it's not. So $820.45 for my mortgage. This is my mortgage plus a $75 towards my principal, which I've always paid, which will probably end up taking almost 10 years off my mortgage, and it's only $75. I think that's amazing. I took out a 30-year mortgage when I bought my house. I financed my house myself after my divorce, and we had a 20-year mortgage, and I really liked that, but I did not know what my finances would be like as a single person. So I went with the 30 years knowing that I could change it to less than that by paying towards my principal. And I started from day one. And it really does make a difference. Okay, AT&T for my internet. I told you it's been creeping up. I think it started at 100. It's been creeping up. I called them. They were unimpressed. My gym membership, which goes unutilized a lot of time, but hopefully this summer we'll get some more use. My AC contract. Okay, now this is a thing that affects a lot of people. I don't know about you, but my debit card is a Visa debit card through my bank, and it has an expiration date. And my expiration date was this month. Well, I don't know what formula they use for cashing it, not cashing it. I remember the last time it expired, I had a subscription. I believe it was to Weight Watchers, and I was ready to drop that subscription because I was starting to look at all of my subscriptions, what I was using and what I wasn't. So I thought, oh great, I don't even have to contact them. They just won't be able to get my information. And so I didn't contact them. I know this sounds silly when you say it like that. Oh, I'll just bury my head in the sand and things will work out, is what it sounds like to me now. It did not sound like that to me then. I thought this will be a way that I can part from them without having to do anything. And you know what? It didn't work. They put through my card just the same as it always had been. Didn't stop it for a minute. I had to go on and stop it myself, and I was mad at myself about that. This time, when I'm changing over, I have the AC contract on that debit card, and it didn't go through, and they sent me a paper bill. I'm going to roll this over. That's what I do when I'm rolling something over into my next budget. I put an arrow and the initial R next to it. I'm going to roll this over and contact them. So my Apple storage was 99 cents. Lawn care, let me make sure you're still here. Yep, I took out $30 in cash to pay my lawn man. And when I went to Toyota to get the tires installed, there was some extra fee, about $40 actually, because it was going to cost me almost exactly $200. About $41 because I was missing one lug nut and the others were not in good shape. I think that had to do with having it done last time someplace other than the dealership. I just feel like they were not as trustworthy, which is why I ended up back at the dealership. Anyway, it cost me $41 to replace those lug nuts. I know, it seems crazy. I'm going to move this up. Like I said, you can do the math with me, but I got that this all came to $1,330.34. And that subtracted from my 1961.35, that's 35 cents and 34 cents, comes to $631.01. So, but I'm going to need to make sure that I keep that $20. This ended up being less than I expected, even though I had a higher bill at Toyota. This ended up being less than I had planned, some of it because of that $20. So I need to make sure I have that $20 over on this side. Okay, moving on. This is $631.01 carried down. And I know I had a couple of good months or a couple of good paychecks where I did really well with my grocery budget. Can't say I did horribly, but this is getting back into the, well, I'm not doing as well. I went over in both my groceries and my eating out. This one by $50, this one by $51, this one by $26. So we're edging into the real money here. And I need to look at whether it's my habits are getting worse or the inflation and the cost of these is actually getting worse. So I don't know exactly how I want to do that, but only got $25 worth of gas this time. Took out $20 for my entertainment, and I didn't have anything for miscellaneous. However, okay, now this is really funny. I'm going to put a school expense in here because I bought a yearbook, which I like to do every year if I can. I usually buy them in December, before December, because I think it would have been $20, but I missed the opportunity this time. Now, this may be strange that I have miscellaneous for $25, and I didn't count the yearbook as that much. It was exactly the same amount, and I count 0 for miscellaneous, and I put in a new one. This is simply for the idea of tracking categories. As I said, I like to do that, and it gives me an idea that instead of just miscellaneous, I don't know where it went, this is a school expense, and it will be a school expense next year if I have it. So it's worth keeping track of. All of these total $423.10, and when subtracted from the $631.01, you get $207.91. Okay, now we're into what I call the fun side. I'll carry this up here, $207.91. And again, the ones that I have to have, I start with those. So we have to have $50 for the checking buffer. This is my first half of the month, so none of these are must-haves. In the past, I haven't made enough to always put anything at all into these. So none of these are must-haves. I do have some of them that I consider must-haves on the second half of the month. Down here, I want to keep track of the Discover bill that I no longer have to pay. It took me a minute. I'm sorry. The Discover bill that I no longer have to pay, but I put $75 to it a month, and now I want that to go towards savings. So my emergency fund gets $50. I'm going to kind of emphasize that this is for the emergency fund. It will need $50, and my home is getting $25. Also, I have the AC contract rollover. Remember I said I need to keep track of that so I don't want to take it out of my next budget. I want to account for it here. So I didn't have anything before, but now I have at least $20 here. And then I'll do my change roundup. I believe I've called it my party with my pennies. I need to do a video about that. It'll be fun. And I'll have to see what I've got. Well, let's look up here. I've got $207.91, and I usually do any of the change that's left over here. How about just doing the change that's left over here? Let's make it $7.91. So at this point, I've got 50, 75, 95. Is that 95? Yeah. Okay, wait. I've got a 50 up here too. So I've got 50 and 50, that's 100. 25 and 20, that's 45, 145. Okay, I have 100 with 50 and 50. 25 and 20 is 45, 145. Add 791, that's 152.91. So that means I have $55 left. Pretty sure. Yeah, I have $55 left to go into these. Okay, well, this is 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 50 that I had planned. So let's put that extra 5 right in here, and we're practically done because we are just following our plan. And instead of, let's see, like I said, instead of having $100, we went $5 higher here, so it's 105. That leaves 102.91. which, surprise, surprise, is exactly what I have here. 102, 91, 50, 75, 95, 102. And that completes my zero-based budget. Now, I do want to, let me turn a page here. I do want to go ahead and do my categories. I have not taken the time yet to make them all pretty, but I am going to fill them out. Okay. I'm just going to go ahead and fill this out real quickly. My home category had my mortgage plus the $30 towards lawn care. It does not have the $20 for the AC contract. I will put that into my home category on the second half of the month. Groceries, $251. Again, more than they should have been. Eating out, $101. I think at the end of the year, we are sort of getting a little lax or talking ourselves into one extra, what would you call it? One extra meal out a week because we're tired. We can see the end of the road with the school year. And I shouldn't, but I'm going to say that's just what happens. Okay, car and fuel. I had both my $25 for fuel and my $241. So it comes to $266.40. This is for maintenance, the tires, and my fuel. I'm sorry about my old table creaking. Okay, personal care. I have the $50 for my gym membership. Pet care, we don't have a pet currently. Entertainment, $20. Medical, not spending anything from my checking account right now because I do have an HSA with a card, but I didn't spend anything on that either. Shopping, $25, and I'm thinking about, as this gains some, one, I might add a little bit more, but two, I'm going to need to start tracking this so that I don't nickel and dime this to death the way I once did my whole checking account. So, just something to keep in mind. School, I had my union dues and the yearbook. No gifts, no miscellaneous, no debt. Yay! Savings. All right, now that over here comes from this. The checking buffer does not count in savings. So this would be 55 from right here, plus the 75 here and the 791. So my savings was 137.91. Nothing went to my son this time because I pay the subscriptions that we share in the second half of the month. Stop creaking. Stop creaking. And roll over. I always count my checking buffer in this. So it's usually 50, but this one includes the AC. So when I add up all of these, which I like to do, I get $1,961.35. And that is just a check because when you come back here, those two match up. This is the recap of the first half of my month. It finishes out that first paycheck. Okay? That's what that is. And like I said, I'm kind of in a hurry today. So I do want to leave you with a couple of other things. And I should have said something about these at the beginning, but I did not. One, believe it or not, I have another book. I have a book, and of course it's a book that goes with one of my book clubs. I'm not reading widely and stuff that I am coming up with on my own. At this point in the school year, I'm lucky if I'm going to get this done, and it's not super thick. You can see it has how many pages? 256. So this is a short one. But it is an author that I read last year. She wrote a book called, obviously she's written one called In 5 Years, which I haven't read, but she wrote one called One Italian Summer that I really, really did enjoy. These are modern, I believe. They have romantic elements. You can kind of tell that from the cover, but she always has some element of magic to them, it seems like. Something, and it's not always explained. So let me read you the inside flap on this one. Being single is like playing the lottery. There's always the chance that with one piece of paper you could win it all. Daphne Bell believes the universe has a plan for her. Every time she meets a new man, she receives a slip of paper with his name and a number on it, the exact amount of time they will be together. The papers told her she'd spend 3 days with Martin in Paris, 5 weeks with Noah in San Francisco, and 3 months with Hugo, her ex-boyfriend turned best friend. Daphne has been receiving the numbered papers for over 20 years, always wondering when there might be one without an expiration. Finally, the night of a blind date at her favorite Los Angeles restaurant, there's only a name: Jake. But as Jake and Daphne's story unfolds, Daphne finds herself doubting the paper's prediction and wrestling with what it means to be both committed and truthful. Because Daphne knows things Jake doesn't, information that, if he found out, would break his heart. Told with her signature warmth and insight into matters of the heart, Rebecca Serle has finally set her sights on romantic love. The result is a gripping, emotional, passionate, and yes, heartbreaking novel about what it means to be single, what it means to find love, and ultimately how we define each of them for ourselves. Expiration Dates is the one readers have been waiting for. So this is Expiration Dates by Rebecca Serle. I have not started it yet, but hopefully by the time I do another video, I will have at least started it. It does say something about this is her tackling romantic love. In One Italian Summer, she kind of tackled the relationship between a mother and daughter, as well as, there was some of a relationship between a husband and wife, and kind of relationship with yourself. How do you know yourself, and how do you start facing some of I don't know if it would be growing up, because she certainly wasn't a teenager, but when you start facing certain truths in life or stages of life. So, because I think she was like in her 30s. But this is going to be good. It's talking about the single life, and only I think 2 members, including me and one other member in the book club, are single. Everyone else is married or in a relationship. So, but this is what everybody chose. So this is what I'm going to be starting back reading. Okay, I said something at the beginning about the discomfort of unfamiliar, of doing something new. I think that has been what has gotten in my way of doing videos. I have really, really enjoyed starting this channel. It has energized me in a way that I haven't felt energy in quite some time. And for that to be happening late April is just unheard of. So at this time of year, I'm usually dragging so much. This has been good for me. This has every feeling of being something exciting and positive in my life. So why am I dragging when it comes to making a new video? I was doing great, and I got caught up, and all of a sudden I just put the brakes on. I don't know what causes that. Some people call it self-sabotage, maybe, and I hate to think of it as that negative. It's just the way my brain works. And you can tell by my janky nails that look so bad, that are all peeled up, because I did these the day before I planned to make this video. And it was already feeling like it was late. I did my nails for this video, and it's been that long. So, that's not good. And it's not just this. I have signed up to do 2 summer teaching opportunities within my, short-term things. One, prepping some high school students for taking the ACT exam. Another one, working with middle school students on reading, comprehension, and science. I've signed up for those things. I'm getting emails about the materials, the lesson materials, the systems that we're going to use, and I find myself complaining about the manner that I'm getting communicated with, or the expectations, or found out that one of the trainings is going to take me out of my classroom the last week with my students, which, I had a strong reaction to them. And I had to stop and say, why is the reaction so strong? And I think it's because I'm trying something new. I get so bored when I don't try new things. How is it that I can have these strong, almost resistant reactions when I do finally get what I want? How does that make sense? Can someone please explain that to me? Anyway, I just thought I'd bring it up, chat about it for a minute, let you know that I'm not giving up on this channel, and in fact, I am looking forward to when I have days to devote to it. Now, I do know myself, and one of the things that I am going to need to really sit on myself about is I will over-research everything. I will spend all my time watching other YouTube videos, both budgeting videos to see what other people are doing, to make connections in the budgeting community, to comment on their videos, but also videos on how to grow your YouTube channel and how to make thumbnails and how to... Oh goodness, I just hit the camera stand. Okay. I will research everything for hours, and I don't need to do that. I need to do me. I need to film and learn from what I'm doing. If this doesn't get many views, then I need to learn that that is my feedback. That is my research. If it gets a lot of views, that's research too. So, I'm going to leave you with this book. I'm going to leave you with the idea that if you are trying something new, I want to encourage you, because I'm trying to encourage myself, I guess. I want you to feel the encouragement too. You're not alone. You're not crazy. This happens to a lot of us, I think. It's natural to feel that there is stress in change, even good change. Now, I know that. I used to teach that to people in a previous job. When I was talking about stress, I would teach them that even positive change is stressful. So why do I not recognize that in myself? No telling. Anyway, I hope that you will keep doing it. Keep going forward. Keep pushing yourself to do the uncomfortable thing. When I have done the uncomfortable thing, I have almost always been rewarded. I can think of one time when I applied for national board certification and got this close, but it was from resisting myself and procrastinating the writing. That's where I lost it. I wasn't able to finish my application, and I had plenty of time, and I had plenty of support. I had plenty of everything. I just resisted myself too much. I don't want to do that with this. So anyway, it's time for me to go. I've got places to be, and I will be back with another video very shortly. I won't make you wait this long. Okay? Have a good day.